Okay, guys, I've changed it up this year. I thought I learned a little bit about fantasy, so we'll just build the team this way. But let's start anyway, as we always do. Fullback. Sorry, I'll start with the left wing because then I'll lay it out so that it comes, because when I press it in, it doesn't put them in order. And so left wing, who we got? We got RTS, I think, versus Lehigh Hopoate. Good little
Agreed.
matchup there. Lehigh's a good little gun player, isn't he? And he's I like him. I loved him in Tonga too when he played. Very got
100%.
nice intangibles, nice flow to his game. You know, a player that's just got a nice running style, and they just seem to fall in the right spots. There's just been so many of those players in rugby league that are just naturally gifted, and they just get the game.
Agreed.
It doesn't look awkward for them. And Lehigh is one of those guys for me when I see him play. Then you've got the RTS, who's got the yardage. I mean, RTS, I think, had the most yards for us. Scored a try. He's starting to get his rhythm going. Who would you go with in this current situation in terms of the wing option there?
And also, when we preface this too, guys, RTS will not be coming up against Lehigh on the field. He'll be coming up against Jason Saab. Going off left winger versus left winger in that sort of sense as well. So I want to preface that first of all. I would only just sway to RTS over experience and the way he's been, especially coming to the season. I predict that he's going to have a great season, especially run meterage. He's, got a lot of ability in that sense, but it's only just now. Lehigh, he's stepped up his game so much within a short period of time. Again, as you said, he's a natural footballer. His best position for me is at fullback, which most would obviously say with Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, but I think with Roger over age, moving to the wing helps him a lot in his ability, so he can focus on run meterage, which he does a lot better than majority of the wingers in the competition. So that's what sways me to Roger. Is more experience, the run meterage, the statistical side of things. But Lehigh is an incredible talent for the future, so I want that to be prefaced as well.
Yeah, I'll go with Roger as well. I think Lehigh is a future talent, and Lehigh could have a massive game if they get a ton of the ball. I think he's good in his finishing, good in his positional play. But I'll probably say at home, Roger will get that one. So we'll add him in there.
Get him in, baby.
There we go. There. Okay, fullbacks. CNK versus Tommy Travojevic. Who have you got in that battle there, mate?
This one, there's a big distance between the two. It's Tom Travojevic, and Tom Travojevic, fit and healthy, is the best fullback in the competition for me. If he was fit and healthy all the way through, I think he'd be the Blues fullback right now. I think he'd be the Australian fullback. But due to the injuries that he's had, unfortunately, he's been in and out, and they've had to find other positions for him. But a fit and firing Tom Travojevic is absolutely incredible, and he at times is unstoppable. So I'm going Tommy Turbo.
Gonna have to go CNK. Hey, bro, you gotta get your membership. Take your membership back, bro. That's gold, bro.
You love to see it.
I love to see it, bro. It's just, and again, it's good for rugby league to see Tommy. I mean, hoping he doesn't have a big game for us against us, but look, he's looking good again. He's looking well. He was massive in that blooming Pacific Championships, just terrorized. The Kiwis and the Tongans, and I think definitely that's quite an easy one there. We 100%. Have now Tane versus Garrick, I think it is. Yes. Oh no, Garrick's in the centers. Sabi.
Tane versus Saab. Yeah.
Tane versus Saab. I think we're going Saab there. Or what's your call there, Ash?
Yeah, I'm going Jason Saab here. This is obviously just on the back of Sabi's speed, his finishing ability. I do think he gets a little bit more stick at the moment, which is really unfortunate, especially around Manly fan bases. Obviously, they want to fit in all the best stars that they've got, and Jason Saab's name always gets pulled up to get pulled out. But I'm sure there's a lot of fan bases would love to have Jason Saab on their wing, especially with that speed to burn. And his pairing with Tom Travojevic is something to be seen. As soon as Tommy is freeing and he lays on that beautiful ball to Jason Saab, Tommy's back on the inside for Sabi. It's a deadly duo. So go on Jason Saab.
Yeah, and for RTS, you just got to be very, very careful.
Yes,
and Saab, he's just again, watch those short side raids, watch everything. Because they will attack. They'll if you give them the space and time, they will figure you out.
And you know what, bro? Like, not to do it, like, I don't want to put shade on Marcelo and that, and I think a lot of people would agree, but I do feel a little bit more safer with Roger there. It feels just the same pairing we've seen, obviously, with Bumpy and Marcelo Montoya in the past. It was a little bit of a worry too much, and obviously a lot of people will be worried about Bumpy's positioning in that center role, especially coming against those two. But I think Roger's experience on that edge probably helps him a lot more there. So I feel a little bit more comfortable with Roger on that wing to hopefully defend on Jason.
Yep. No, fair enough. Okay, we're going centers now. Left center, Pompey versus who is it?
Cola,
maybe. Yeah. Got to go Cola there for me.
Totally agree.
Yeah, just too potent and potential wise. Yeah, I love Pompey. We all respect Pompey, but in this certain situation, Cola and the speed and all those things, especially centers. Centers today, they need to have that express speed as well. And he's one of those players that, yeah.
I was really curious. I was curious on how Manly were going to run this season, if they were going to hold on to having Tommy Talau on the wing and push Lehigh Boade to a centre. If Cola was going to get dropped out of that lineup, I was be like, shoot whatever contract you can over to Cola. Obviously, within, like, you don't want to kill us our salary cap, but he's a guy that I really enjoy, and I think he's definitely a big talent for the future in that centre position.
Absolutely. Okay, now we're going over to right centre. It is Leatoa versus Garrick. I mean, Garrick's obviously got that experience. Leatoa more of a raw talent. I'm going to go Garrick here, but is there an argument for Leatoa, even in this infancy of his career?
I say there's a slight argument to Ali, more the fact of, like, Garrick, for me, has played his best football on the wing, and I enjoy him more so as a winger. But he's still, for me, the more experienced centre. Ali's still obviously growing into his game. So Ali in the future, I think, will overtake Garrick in the future over time, right? But currently, right now, I've got to go with the experience and the guy that he's got incredible goal kicking, incredibly good attacking potential in Ruben Garrick. So I'm going Ruben Garrick there.
Yeah. There goes your back five, guys. As we can tell, it's very Manly dominated right at the moment, but we're going to get into the halves now. At 6, it is CHT versus Luke Brooks. I've got to go Brooks at this current stage. He looked great. He looked good. He's obviously gelled and worked well in the system there. I'm happy for him. I think he suffered there a lot of the time in Tigerland. But he's looking a lot better. He's a lot more aggressive, very still strong physically, but yeah, just current in form, and I got to go with Brooks. Would you say the same, Ash, in terms of?
Yeah, 100%. Out of that matchup, I would go Lukey Brooks. The only way I'll change our combined lineup here is if I was to push Luke Metcalf to the 6 role, and I'll put him in 6 and have DC in the 7. But Lukey Brooks, out of that matchup there, him and Chanel, unfortunately, I think the experience, and he's just showed a lot more better consistent ability than Chanel at the moment. Maybe Chanel can grow in over time. So I'm going Lukey Brooks.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Now in the halves, the halfback position, Luke Metcalf versus DCE. I think it's, Metcalf, obviously, first year in. I know he's 25, but technically he's still in his infant years. DCE on the back end of his career is still playing well. Got to go DCE here in this situation. Yep.
Agreed. I think this one is... Again, we're talking about a top 3 halfback in a competition, just like Tom Trbojevic is, one of the best fullbacks. DC is one of the best halfbacks. So that's what Manly have at the moment, and incredible weapons in their arsenal.
Yeah, I mean that rounds out you guys, your back line. Yes, it is Manly dominant, but mate, if we pull this one off, far out, it'd be a great scalp to get. But based on obviously talent currently, that's the situation here. We're going to move into the front row. So we'll go now to our props. Is JFH versus Paseka. What have you got there, Ash?
There's night and day difference, bro. It's JFH is one of the most, if not the most accomplished prop in the competition right now. Definitely is the most accomplished prop in the competition right now. He's definitely going to take a little bit of time before we see the full fruits of his labor within this Warriors jersey, but I'm sure that he's going to step it up this week, especially after being embarrassed the way they did over in Vegas. I think he's going to be the key leader for us in this game here.
No, absolutely. Good shout there. I think he's got a great. He's going to go great at home. I think once he gets at home and the guy's a little bit settled, we'll see even more dominance. I thought he was great in Vegas individually.
I did too. Yeah.
And I don't think there was much to blame from him in that situation. Okay, let's go now to. I'll just chuck in the lock there if that's all right. So that it flows better. I like to have my props on the outside of the lock there.
Yeah, I agree.
So Aaron Clark versus Jakey Travojevic. Jakey for me, but Aaron's in his early days with us, and I just hope Aaron has a good physical battle with Jakey. You got to go Jakey there, I'd say.
Yeah, I got to go Jakey, more of the experience, more of the leadership that he's had. He's obviously got the best tackle technique that we've seen in rugby league at the moment.
Oh, bro, yeah.
But you're 100% right. Aaron Clark is still in his infancy in that role, especially for the Warriors. Like the Titans played him in multiple different positions before coming over to us. So he's going to take time, but I've seen a lot of good ability out of Aaron, but got to go Jakey there, representative player.
Yep. Okay, now let's go to the other side. We have Mitchie B versus Josh Aloiai. Night and day for me again. B. So our front row, I'd say, wins that battle, which is great.
100%, bro. 100%. We're talking about New South Wales representative and Australian representative prop forward. So incredible year last year from Mitch Barnett and him and Fisher Harris. I think they are night and day for me above Taniela Paseka and Josh Aloiai.
There you go. Man, that would be a good little front row unit there with Fish, Travojevic, and Barnett. Man, that would, if we had Travojevic at the Warriors this year, that would have been a nice little combo there. Jakey would have done well. Jakey would have done well with us. Okay, now we're going into hooker, and it's Jazzy. I never thought we'd see this matchup: Jazz versus Egan. Oh my goodness! And credit to Jazzy, he's done well. He's done well within his scope of what he's able to do. And crazy for Seabold to trust him. You think Seabold would have got someone like Jazz purely for just hit ups and runs, but no, he's put Jazz in control. I mean, he's got good halves, and he's got Jakey there calling things, so it's quite easy for him. But I think Wade's looking healthy. He's looking good, moving well. Just the team around him hasn't really supported him. So I think it's a little bit unfair, but based on skill and talent, Wade all day. You're of the same mindset, obviously.
100%, brother. 100%. Yeah, this one's a little bit of distance as well. I think what Jazzy obviously does well, as we know with New Zealand Warriors, he's got a ton of heart, a ton of energy in the middle. Defensively, he's definitely a really key piece there for the Manly Seagulls. He had a flat track for me in that first game against the Cowboys, which, I think a lot of, basement type hookers would look fairly good in that game overall when you're feeding the ball to DC and that, but still a great performance from Jazzy there. Good defensive performance overall as well. But hopefully if we can put him on the back foot, we can see the reason why we didn't like running Jazz Tavanga in that hooker role.
Yeah. And speaking of Jazz, he's doing well. I was watching a bit of tape and I was thinking, it'd be good to get isolate Jazz sometimes. When he's kind of moving, like I saw some opportunities on the short side where you can get Hamole in the tackle and then Jazz goes over and you can attack short side. So, like I said, I think Hamole is definitely one as well. That left side or their right side defense is definitely one I would try and attack as well.
100%.
Maybe look for Jazz in the line a little bit too as well, and some things like that. But yeah, definitely got to go with Egan there. Okay, we'll move into the back row now. We'll go left side, Capewell versus Ben Travojevic. Who have you got in that battle?
I've got Kurt Capewell, and I think that might be controversial for a lot there. But I think obviously the representative ability that Kurt Capewell has, and when he plays his best football, I think that he's at the moment the better player out of the two. But Ben Trbojevic is still young to his first grade career. He's had moments where he's been dropped in and out of first grade, so it will take time for him. But he's definitely got a lot of ability. So at the moment, I've got Kurt Capewell, but Ben Trbojevic is not that far behind at the moment.
Yeah, Ben's a definite talent, but yeah, he goes well when everyone else is going well. And look, it is a tight battle. Look, we can't say that Capewell had a great game, but yeah, based on that potential, that yeah, he would be. We'll give it to Capewell in this situation here. Now on the right side, Haumole Olokoatu versus New Kore. A little bit of night and day in this battle currently as well. Definitely going Haumole. Any other thoughts, Ash?
No thoughts at all, brother. This is it's a big difference here. Haumole Olokoatu, just an incredible edge back row. I've already spoken enough about him, bro. He's a complete juggernaut, and I think he's just continuing to grow in his career. So I can't wait to see. Well, obviously, I don't want to see too much out of him this weekend, but over in the future of this NRL competition, I can't wait to see what he can produce and maybe get around that origin spot again.
Just quickly, P. Neles, thank you for becoming a channel member, man. Awesome to have so many members join us tonight, man. Appreciate you jumping on, man, and looking forward to spend some more time with you, my man. Thank you for joining. Great for everyone that's becoming channel members. Appreciate you guys. And I hope you enjoy the benefits of the membership. Yeah, it's easily. And he's definitely one we got to keep him quiet. If we can keep him quiet, big job for Capewell, actually, to kind of, and that whole side Pompey, all those guys to really do a number there. But look, man, based on this, it does look like our 4-pack is the more strong and experienced. You just quickly going back to that point we've made from the start, do you think that we will have their number a little bit on Friday night in terms of controlling them at least?
I think the middle battle will probably be a lot better than what we had against the Canberra Raiders that have big, high velocity forwards that love to get forward. They find their front easy. They got incredible offloads. Manly's just their prop room for me has always been very hot and cold. And we've just known that from so much in the past. Taniela Paseka has probably some of the best ability of some prop forwards in the competition, but I still think that he just doesn't know his size yet. He still doesn't. He's just got, he's got to pick up that act. But in general, I think we have the ability to lock him down. Everyone knows the big worry about the Manly Seagulls is their spine and their back line against our team here. And I think that's what everyone's so worried about is, DCE, we're talking Tom Trbojevic, and then off the back of that, Olokoatu. So that's the real big worry for me. I think our other edge with Luke Brooks and that, I think we can contend on that side fairly well. Just that opposite side where DCE is, they have put so much ball down that edge, and it's so hard to defend because as you saw when you did your breakdowns on Instagram, guys, go check out Wise Up TV on Instagram for Levon's breakdowns. Incredible. But they run things in certain different spots that other teams don't. They play their short sides really well in tight corridors, and they just run so many players down that little section in many different angles where it's so hard to keep track of where they're going to go, especially going to run Olokoatu at someone. You want to put numbers on Olokoatu, and that creates so much space for their outside men. So
No, Peter, thank you very much, my friend. Wow, your finger triggers, your trigger finger is happening on the button. We appreciate it. We love it. Love your guys' content, brothers. I'm a huge Waz fan since 2011. So awesome to come across your page. Keep smashing it. Thank you very much. We truly appreciate every donation that comes in. It helps us, to continue to provide the best content we can. We try our best every week to provide the best for everyone, and we appreciate this. So thank you, Norpeter. Are you from up north? We know a few Norpeters from my family from the Mangamuka. I'm not sure if it's the same Norpeter, but if it is, tēnā koe te whanau. But yes, thank you, my friend. We appreciate you very, very much. Awesome stuff. Okay.
Awesome. Amazing.
Let's get now into this bench. Now we choose our best four across the team. Now let's just quickly name. So we've got Dylan Walker, Jackson Ford, Dimitrik Vaimonga, and Leka Halasima on our side. Then they've got Jake Simpkin, Corey Waddell, Ethan Bullymore, and Torfafor Sipley. It's a good little battle there. You'd probably say the Manly guys have got better forwards currently. I mean, Dimitrik and Leka, I think they're not quite there yet, but Bullymore had a good game last week. Dylan Walker, for me, always makes it in on the bench. Which way are you swaying, Ash? And who have you got on your bench currently?
So we'll put in a non-negotiable. We have Dylan Walker definitely in that 14 jersey. I think, the Manly Seagulls would love to still have him at the club as well, especially playing the football that he has right now. But, we're very lucky to have someone like him at the club currently. Then looking on the other side of things, I think Ethan Bullymore and Toff Sipley will probably have to find a spot on our bench. I think both those guys have great ability. Toff is just really hard to handle and tired forwards in the middle because he's such a big body. And Ethan Bullymore, I think, is one of the most underrated middle forwards in the competition, especially coming off the Manly's bench. Very good, bro. Very good footwork. He's got lightning speed for a decent sized body in the middle, and should have had a double last week against the Cowboys. He'd be with DC doing the old chip and chase. He was right on the inside. He should have been going over for a double. So those are my two there. Yep. And last one, because Corey Waddell's an okay player, like a decent player. It's tough, man. I think Dimitrik Vaimonga and Leka Halasima both have incredible ability, but I'm going to pull those two out of the lineup for a little bit because they're just tussing first grade right now. I'm going to go Jackson Ford over Corey Waddell. I think Jackson Ford is a better player than Corey Waddell.
Okay. That's pretty good. Okay, guys. Let me just get that there. That makes up your team for this weekend of Combined 17. Hopefully you guys can see all of those. Yep, cool. Let me just bring the bottom guys up. It does cut off Egan's head a little bit, but that looks pretty good right there. Let's just count it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. To the Manly players to R7, I'd say. Backline just is lethal and expected to be with the quality of talent they currently have. Maybe, if Dallin comes back in, you might get another argument there. So there's a few things, but you got to give credit to Manly. We won the propping battle, which is huge, and I expect a big game from Fish and Barnett. Obviously Olokwatu and Jake, massive in there. But a little bit of a weakness with them with Tavanga. We got Egan in there. Capewell does make it in over a youthful. What's the brother's name? I forgot his name. Ben
Trebojevic.
Trebojevic. Expecting a big game from Capewell, especially dealing on that side. And then bench wise, two big forwards. That's another little area we're gonna have to deal with those two. Bullymore's playing really well at the moment, but Dills Walker and his experience with Jacko 4 rounding it out. You happy with that? I think that's pretty fair, I'd say. I think we've been pretty decent here.
Looks pretty good there, yeah, very solid. The only way I would change anything in this is to put a new Warrior player in there, is take out Lukey Brooks and put Luke Metcalf in that 6 jersey. That's the only other thing I would change. But that Halves pairing, that Luke Brooks and DC, they're definitely worthy of those roles there, and they're the big worry on us in general, is 2 experienced halves that have played that system for the last 2 years. They've been in that system, it's settled. No one's going to take their halves jersey off them. Where on our end, our boys have been mixing and matching in the offseason who's going to be the halfback to start the season. So that's the difference of what we got. These guys are going to be a lot more settled than us. We're going to take a little bit more time before we play our best football, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's still very much they're in a position of strength and consistency, and the teams that are currently very solid on their spine and have been for a little while, they're pretty much the teams that are doing well or won on the weekend. So we're in that. We got to accept that, people. We are in a transition. Even the fans of Metcalf or CHT, you got to accept. We want them to be successful, but there's going to be growing pains, and so that's the current space we're in right now, transitioning. Whereas Manly, you can see that they've got their nucleus there, and so I would put them as favourites to go in. But I expect a lot better performance from our boys, and we're going to get into that